I'm Heyzeus, and in this video, I'm going to show you how you can afford an extremely rare special item simply by hoarding CSGO's in-game drops. There are a few tricks involved to maximize the number of drops we get, a few tricks involving timing the market, and with these, you can easily afford something. It is completely insane just how easy it is to do this these days. I was a bit shocked when I started researching it, but that is kind of where CSGO is at right now, and I am going to show you how it works. Now, this video is sponsored by SkinsMonkey. SkinsMonkey is a site where you can quickly and easily trade your CSGO skins. Just log in through Steam, add your trade link, and you're good to go. Just select the skins you want to trade and you'll have a trade offer within seconds. Any excess will be added to your balance, and if the skin you want isn't tradable, it can be reserved for you until it is. There's also a built-in high definition inspect feature, and if you're topping up, make sure to use the code Heyzeus to get an extra 5% bonus on the balance you deposit. And that same code will also get you a bonus of up to $5 when you do your first trade. Now, on top of this, the site also hosts daily, weekly, and monthly giveaways, so even if you don't have skins, there is something here for you to check out. Great site, recommend having a look, link is in the description. So, there's only two requirements to make this work. Firstly, you need at least one Prime CSGO account, and secondly, you can't be someone who's paying their own electricity bill. It works best if you're living with your parents or on college or something like that. It also works best if you're someone who likes playing CSGO regularly, although that's not an actual requirement, and you could use this to buy Steam games instead if you really like. In all honesty, it does have other uses. But anyway, how does it work? Well, cases. Cases are expensive at the moment. Someone is clearly opening a lot of them. Not that I'd know anything about that, but the point is, we're opening a lot of them. Long gone are the days when they were all 3-cent pieces of shit that you couldn't sell. And that's pretty good because each week you can get 2 of them as drops. Now, the first one is quite easy to get if you're playing matchmaking for a few hours each week with your friends, beating up those noobs with your 6 strats and amazing team synergy. You will be getting that first case pretty easily. The second one though is a bit harder. In fact, it can take up to 24 hours of gameplay to drop sometimes. Luckily though, you don't actually have to play this because there are idle servers where you can literally just idle to get them. So while that might be a bit annoying, it is doable and doesn't involve any extra work. Just make sure you're not the one paying for the electricity, because the computer will be using a fair bit of it idling for those cases. Anyway, more importantly, cases are expensive right now. Currently, Prime accounts can receive 5 different case drops, all of them equally likely, and their average value is currently 58 cents US. Now, this will vary over the year. It peaks whenever a new case comes out and then gradually drops off over time. If you'd been farming drops right when the recall case came out, for example, and had a bit of luck, you could have easily made $20. But we're going to use 58 cents here as a rough long-term average. And if you get 2 drops on an account each week for a year and then sell the cases on the Steam market, you will end up with $53 US at the end of the year. Now, if you have an alt account that also has Prime status and do exactly the same thing on that one, you'll end up with $106 US at the end of the year. On top of this, you'll probably pick up a few more dollars from ordinary drops, meaning you'll have something like $110 at the end of the year. All of this would take basically no extra effort because the cases you don't get playing CSGO normally can be obtained by idling, and that is already enough to buy yourself a shitty knife on the Steam market. Pretty good, right? However, this does require 2 Prime accounts. What if you only have 1? Or what if you do have 2 Prime accounts but just want a better knife? Well, there's actually something else that can get you there. Now, you might be thinking I mean rare drops, and it's true. Rare drops can help. 1% of the time when you get dropped a case, it will be a discontinued case, and some of these can be extremely valuable, but this is not a reliable method. It might happen, but there's a very good chance it might not. And there is something much more consistent available that can get you extra funds to buy a better knife. You see, you may have noticed that this whole video, I've only been talking about the Steam market, and the Steam market actually isn't a particularly great marketplace. It's got very high fees. You could easily sell your cases on a platform like Buff163 instead, and save quite a bit in the process because it's got lower fees. But there is a reason you want to be selling your cases on the Steam market, and that reason is the operation. Now, there's two reasons why the operation is a huge opportunity, and the first one is the operation pass. Operation passes are normally $15, and from this, by completing missions, you can get 100 stars, and those 100 stars can be redeemed for 50 operation cases, which can then be sold on the Steam market. Now, during Operation Riptide, even if you sold all 50 of those cases at more or less the lowest price the case was at during the entire operation, you'll be getting about $25 back, which is about $10 profit, and in practice, you probably would have made even more. And of course, you can repeat this process on every single Prime account that you own. Now, in fairness, there is no point in trying this unless you actually care about getting a diamond coin from the operation, or just like playing the missions with your friends. Like, it is not an efficient way of getting Steam funds. It's not worth trying unless you be doing the missions anyway. But before you give up and just go get a job instead, operations actually do have another option for you, which is just as good but also miles lower effort. You see, operations crash the price of everything on the Steam market. Really suddenly and dramatically too. It's normally about 25% or more within the space of a few hours. Obviously it varies a bit from item to item, but that kind of drop is roughly what you're looking at. Now, these prices recover a bit over the next few months, generally to higher levels than they were actually at during the beginning of the operation. The exact amount of time it takes to recover properly depends on a few different factors. The most important one is when the operation launches, but the complicated details aren't that important here. All you need to know is that CSGO typically releases an operation around November each year. I know it was earlier last year, Riptide was in September, but I'm pretty sure that was a one-off, and when it drops, you can use the Steam wallet funds you've built up to buy some older cases that aren't dropping anymore on the market when they're at a massive discount. Gamma, Spectrum, Chroma, those would be my first recommendations, but plenty of others work too, and you can just wait 3 months until February to sell those for a nice juicy profit. Obviously, no one can say for sure exactly how big that profit margin will be. I would treat 30% as a decent working estimate, but that is only an estimate, we don't know for sure. But importantly, this is literally a cycle that repeats itself in CSGO year after year, and you can repeatedly take advantage of it and barely have to think in the process. The more funds you have stocked up for this, the better. And best of all, it'll probably take about 2 minutes of your time during those 3 months. And between all these things, it should be pretty straightforward to get a knife just from your drops. It might not be a flashy knife, but it'll be a knife. It doesn't take effort or energy or intelligence, just a bit of persistence, and you should be able to afford one just using in-game drops. Anyway, that is pretty much it for this video. If you've enjoyed it, please like, comment, and subscribe, massively appreciated. Otherwise, trust the numbers, not your guts. I'm Heyzeus. Thanks for watching. See ya.